Hey, Carolanne and Jackie and my two fabulous teacher candidates, Carolanne and Elianna. I just wanted to share some of my cedar belongings. So this is a cedar hat. It is made in the Coast Salish style, and it's made from the inner bark of a red cedar tree. It took me about 6 hours to make this. You'll see inside it has kind of like a ring that was made separately, and it was to size my head. And we used a hat form to make the cedar hat, like to create its shape. So yeah, I took a course with a local knowledge keeper, and I learned how to do this. So you do have my permission to look at the hat, and with teacher support, you may wear it. But remember, this is an important piece of almost regalia for me. It's not a toy, it's something that's sacred. We see the cedar as the tree of life, so this is an important piece for me. So please take care of it as if it was a special treasure of your own. I'm including a cedar bracelet. So the same man who taught me how to make the cedar hat has offered workshops on making cedar bracelets. And you'll see there are two different colors of cedar here. So he has dyed some of the yellow cedar red, and he just used a commercial dye for that one. And then I've got two pieces of cedar here. So the one here on the left, this one here, this is from the red cedar tree, and it is the one that we typically use to make cedar hats and cedar capes and such. It's getting harder and harder to get, as you can imagine, but it's a beautiful piece of cedar, and you have my permission to soak this in water. You're going to soak it in, it's better to soak it in kind of warm water. Then you can lay it out on the ground and measure how long it is. Again, I'm just going to ask you to be careful with it, because this is a gift that I received from the tree, and I will use it to make something with it in the future. And then this piece here is very different, and I'm asking that you don't wet this one. This is yellow cedar, and last year I had the opportunity to harvest cedar for the very first time. It was so amazing to me. What a difference between yellow cedar and red cedar in terms of harvesting. The yellow cedar, you usually collect it at higher elevation, so it's really hard to get. So this is my only piece. So and it's actually a friend and I did it together, so we're going to share this piece of cedar. So I see all these cedar items as gifts from Mother Earth. I've had an opportunity to harvest these pieces here, and just know that before I harvested them, I talked to the tree. I usually tell the tree what I'm going to use the cedar for, and that that it's going to be to support student learning, so that they know just about the indigenous knowledge of the Coast Salish people in this area. And then in this box, I have some other pieces of cedar, so you can see a sample of a little cedar. So it's a very small cedar mat. So sleeping mats would have been made similar to this style, but would have been much bigger. So just some pieces of cedar that you can play with. And then, because we get creative, here is a cedar reindeer, using the same format that we use to make headbands. There is a cedar paddle, and I loved these. These are cedar earrings, and I bought these at a powwow. And when possible, I try and pick up material or buy objects from local First Nation artists. So I was so pleased to be able to purchase this. This is an example of how we use the red cedar to make like a cedar bracelet or cedar rope. Now, I used to do this with kids, and I think lots of us have stopped doing that, because cedar is such a scarce resource, that we want any cedar that's harvested, we want it to be in the hands of First Nations artists and First Nations people. Yeah, but this is the technique. And then this is just what I call a chopper. So some of the regions I've done around the Coast Salish and cedar, they would pound cedar, yellow cedar, and use it for diapers and other objects like that. So I have sent you, this is scraps from a knowledge keeper I know, who gifted it to me, and you are welcome to use these scraps in any way you see fit. I'm going to suggest you soak some and let kids try and use the wood chopper there to try and soften it. You can maybe try with rocks and see how it softens. But if you can come up with some creative way to use these cedar scraps, please do. Anyways, I hope you enjoy all these cultural items. Yeah, Cook's Chat Room for listening to my little video.